The daycare that abused my autistic daughter wants to sue me after I wrote them a Google review. F31 and M36 have two kids F4 and M2. When my daughter was 3 she was in a daycare that has glowing reviews, seemed great and kids seemed happy. And since my daughter is autistic and very limited verbally at the time, can't answer questions, I was worried about putting her anywhere she won't be safe, so I carefully chose this daycare. Well, unfortunately I was wrong, when one day my husband went to pick her up and saw her crying with her pants wet, and she ran and hugged him and she just wanted to leave. Since she gets meltdown often, he thought she was having trouble with transition, and since she was rushing him to leave he took her out. Usually she likes to play outside, but that day she just wanted to leave, so she didn't follow her routine. When he went to buckle her in her seatbelt he saw a lot of lines and fingerprints on her forearm. He thought it was paint, so he tried to rub it off, but she cried harder and harder and he realized she was abused. He went in furious demanding answers, but my daughter was hysterical, terrified, she wanted to leave. So he left and we realized her forearm was swollen. She was scratched so deeply that the scratches became like cuts. She had handprints and some bruises on her legs. My husband demanded answers and we called Children Aid. We live in Toronto. Since she doesn't speak and the staff won't speak, they wouldn't charge anyone, but the same teacher who was with her at the time of the incident abused 2 kids the day prior under ages of 2, so they couldn't speak. The aftermath was horrible. My daughter got a white hair from the stress. She panicked about anyone touching her, even us. She didn't want to see any teachers. She panicked if we were close to her daycare street. She even till this day can't hear the word school because she associates it with the daycare even after going to kindergarten. I could go on about how much this still affects her a year later. A staff a year later told me that Children Aid was called again and more kids were abused. I was done. Even with having a lawyer and trying to get some of expenses paid like occupational therapy and offered not even much to cover it, I wanted to inform the parents because I thought this daycare would be more careful. We were told by staff anyone can get hired, sometimes not even a background check or an experience. So I decided to write a review on Google to warn parents. After I wrote it, I received an email threatening me with a lawsuit of defamation with a deadline to take it down, and I don't want to. Morally, I feel obligated to let parents know that their kids might not be safe, especially after knowing few parents who were told their kids are being pinched and they find bruises without any explanations. They can threaten all they want, but you have the right to warn others. You also have proof. They're just afraid of the backlash. Add photos to your review. The best defense to defamation is the truth. They can't sue you for defamation as long as you have evidence of the abuse. It doesn't have to be statements, but if you have pictures of her arm when she was picked up, that could work. Call their bluff. They don't want to lose the money if a child goes to another daycare, but it will cost them much more in court costs to file a lawsuit. I audibly gasped when I read about your daughter's injuries. It sounds like you and your husband are incredible and attentive parents, and she is so lucky to have you advocate for her when she couldn't do it herself. There are some truly evil people in this world to put their hands on a child like that, and how pathetic they are to send threatening emails to try to cover up what they've done. Just want to say that I know how hard it is to put up this fight. I admire you for standing up for your child, and warning parents of this place. Upload all you can on that review. This makes me sick reading about it.